Welcome to the Circle of M. I am your host, Marcus Smith II.
And I'm Dondre Echols.
And we're going to be talking about social media and mental health. I think social media and mental health go hand in hand too as well. I think there are some good things with social media, but I also think there's some bad things with social media. And I just really wanted to come in today, have an episode, and talk about these things. But first, let's talk about how you feeling today, bro. What's your feelings like today, man?
I'm feeling good, you know. Been a good summer for me. You know, been traveling a lot. Now I'm starting to settle down and everything. So my mental been good. You know, I've been talking, expressing myself more. So I'm a lot more relaxed now, you know.
Yeah.
Other than that, you know, I'm doing good. What about yourself, bro?
Man, I'm doing good. I feel like I have some stuff down the pipeline that we're doing, especially in the mental health space. The Circle of M is really taking off. Yeah. Obviously, you guys know that we're not just only a podcast, we are a 501. So we are in talks of trying to do more stuff to help the community, man. I want to be able to give free therapy or free something, man, because we know in our communities we come from, man, either you don't have insurance or you don't have the money to pay for that type of service.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think for me, that's really what I've been doing. So I mean, it's been good. It's really been good. But you know, I really want to dissect this this social media thing. But let's talk about how we see social media and how we deal with it, good and the bad. Let me ask you this, bro. When you first got a social media account and you were doing it with your business, what were your intentions?
My intentions were to expand my business, like we just said, and just put my work out there. You know, I spent a long time doing things, being creative, and I wasn't confident in my work, so I wouldn't put it out there. But I would look at other people's work and I would judge theirs, or say, you know, I can do that too. But my mindset was, you know, I had a good friend that told me, he said, how are people going to know you're doing it if you're not putting it out there?
Right.
And so over time, I've been able to see that mindset, and what he said to me, it helped me, because now I don't put stuff out for other people. I put it out if I like it, if I do it, hopefully somebody like it, but it's not for them.
Right.
But it has built my confidence and let me see my own growth. You know what I'm saying? So my mindset was just, you know, just having more confidence, you know, forget it because I failed before on other things. So it's more so just, you know, just step out there and just, I was just trying something, you know, so.
It took me a while to step out there too. I would see people doing stuff that I wanted to do, man. Podcasts been around for a minute, right? But it's people who started their podcast early and hopped on the bandwagon. So, you know, a lot of times I would feel like that I wouldn't get where I am today because I didn't start as soon as I did. And I would see people in their respective space, and I seen them here, and then now they're here, and it's like, man, it's gonna take me forever.
It's gonna take time, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I think the good thing about that is that I could see people in my respective space and get motivated. And I think it's just like what you just said. It's like, all right, I got motivated and I just started putting stuff out there. But I didn't put stuff out there of what I thought people would like. I put stuff out there what I like and what I thought was near and dear to my heart. And then in return, it was like a lot of people liked it.
And it helped you keep going, and you look
right.
This podcast, look what we at now, you know?
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? We doing some.
Yeah,
man.
Right?
We doing some big things, man. But first of all, I really appreciate you and where we're going with this. But also, there, you know, with our stories, I feel like there's some downside to social media too. Whether you're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Too, right? In the midst of us getting to where we are, there were some trials that we still had to overcome.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? I feel like we should talk about that. So, of course I got notes that I wrote down, but I want to talk about the thoughts of not moving fast enough, right? When you see somebody in your respective space and you have a business and you're doing your business, but as we know, like the Instagram algorithm, it's more so tailored to like what you like. Yeah. And you might see people that are doing
the same thing that like you like to do and everything. Yeah.
Yeah. And so how do we deal with that? Because at first I used to see it and it would put me in a depressed state because I didn't feel like I was moving fast enough. Yeah. What about you?
When it comes to that, I'm gonna say how I view it is I always go back to accepting where I am today.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest thing that can help anyone on social media, just accepting like where they are and accepting their life. Because when it comes to like something like you might see somebody doing like the same thing you're doing, you're like, how did they get there that fast? I think people should pay attention, accept where they are and pay attention, because a lot of people that I do know on social media are not actually living what they're posting, or they're not. And some people who are not on social media, they're happy, So
I'm telling you, like I don't post nothing like when it comes to
personal.
But people stuff. Do that like both though.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't really. I get what you're saying. It's like I'm not, because you put too much out there, you give people the chance to say something or to judge what you're doing too.
Yeah. I think like if like I was like going back, like if when you accept something, it's no time to get to where you want to go. When you look at life, it's like if I start today, like I'm a creative and I do photography and videography, right? When I first started, I told myself, like I'm gonna accept that in the next 3 years or 4 years that I'm where I really want to be.
Right.
But I know I gotta accept the process of these next couple of years and like push through. But I still promoted myself as I was still that business, or just promoted myself as I was still top tier. Right. And that still draw attention. So it's like basically social media, I think people can revert their mindsets on it and actually just use it as a business tool, because personal life, you keep up with how people are doing, but people don't know what you're going through in your personal life, and people got to learn how to distinguish the two. Like, this is real, but fake, but this is reality too.
Right. Do you feel like man, I agree with everything you just said, because for me, it was more so, my experience was at first I would look at something and I'd be like, dang, like I need to do better, or I need to get some stuff going. I feel like it's going too slow, but we have to realize that we have to go at our own pace, and you have to run your race. And what's for you, what God has for you,
it's gonna come when it's supposed to.
It's gonna come when it's supposed to. Do you feel like jealousy comes with that because you know what I mean? Because you see somebody who's doing great work. You ain't trying to be jealous of them, but you like, it's a natural human trait to have. You know what I mean? And that jealousy can turn in, and we're gonna talk about that later. But I want to talk about this part right now.
With jealousy?
Yeah. How do you feel like the jealousy comes into play? You know what I mean? When people see their other respective business, you know what I'm saying? Or see somebody doing really well. Like, you like, damn.
It comes from, I think the jealousy comes from self-hate.
Ooh, because that's a good one. That's a good one.
If you are seeing someone that you might know, or they're doing this and they're living life and they're happy, or it looks like they're happy.
Yeah.
And you do see them like growing in life, and you look at yourself and you might see yourself like, I feel stagnant. You are happy for them, but you feel like they don't deserve that. That's how you might feel. It's like they don't deserve what they're getting. But in reality, you don't know if they deserve that. You don't know if your story, their story was harder than yours, or your story was harder than theirs. So it's like a jealousy thing. I feel like it just comes from comparing how you feel about yourself. Ooh, you gotta kind of get out of that and like, give people their flowers, because you give them their flowers, you're gonna grow with them. Like be there for them, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
that's self-hate.
Self-hate.
How you feel about it, you know?
I mean, I think it's what you said. It's like, we was talking to Armand earlier, and you just said comparison. It's like, the comparison is the thief of all joy, right?
Definitely is.
And it says that in the word. And it's like, when you start comparing yourself to other people, it can send you down this rabbit hole that you really don't want to go down there. And once you get down there, it's like, dang, you'll look up and be like, man, I was comparing myself to someone whose walk is so much different than mine, but I'm still here at this point, and I could be here if I would have just stuck on what I believe to be true with what God had given me.
Yeah.
So I would just say, man, the whole comparison thing is, it really steals your joy of, you know, your respective business, your personal life. Because if you go to your personal life, right? I have a wife, 2 kids, right? People who may want that, if I'm sticking my kids and my wife on social media all the time, people who may want that, they might be happy for me. Then you might have other people who are like hoping that we fail.
Yeah.
And that's part of the reason. Yeah. That's part of the reason why I try not to post as much, because, you know, it's not about the post. I see my wife every day. Yeah. You know what I mean? If I take her on a trip, I'm looking at her. Yeah. I can see her. She knows me in person. Yeah. And a lot of times we don't see what you said too. We don't see like the behind
the scenes of like, it's good and it's bad, but like people show the good.
Yeah, like that's it.
People show the good.
Yeah,
sure, I show the good.
I do too.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I go through stuff every day.
You ain't for this. Hey, you're not for to see a bad edit. You put a bad edit out there. No, we ain't doing that.
Yeah, just to comparing is I feel like people just got to reevaluate themselves. Everybody just look into yourself. Go look at what you're looking at on Twitter, what you're hearing, things like that. And I feel like how it affect people mentally is because it's given on a positive note, it can give you motivation. Right. But if you're not in that headspace to understand it or use it the right way, it's definitely can send you in a depressed stage. Like we were just talking about, like, people show the good, people show the bad. But you're looking and you just seeing good, but you're looking at yourself bad. Like, you might be judging yourself, but in reality, if you just actually, because from personal experience, I had times where I had to either lose a cell phone or something like that, and I didn't have to.
Like, you had to disconnect.
I had to disconnect from when I was forced to, and I might have not. I could get my phone the next day, but I told myself I deserve this. I don't need that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, I got this.
It's really like a mental cleanse.
See around people, like, I'm actually happy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But because I'm looking at this stuff, I'm just thinking everybody is living this world, but in reality, my person, my family, I'm like happy sometimes, but I get caught up thinking about stuff I'm scrolling. So I'm gonna say, you know, like, just shoot, I don't know, man. Like, this is all about the mindset, you know? Yeah. It's all about the mindset.
It's mental. I feel like you did a mental cleanse, and I think we all should do that. I think everyone should, you know, at some point, you know, get off their phones and disconnect. Because if we're always plugged in, right, we're going to think about it like this. I'm going to say this. If you leave your phone on a charger, and you leave it on every day and don't take it off, what's your phone going to do? It's going to burn up. Yeah. You're going to get burnt out.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the same thing with your mental capacity. Like, as you keep seeing this stuff and you checking your phone every 10 to 5 seconds, or 5 to 10 seconds, I'm sorry, you're going to get burnt out from it. And you're going to eventually want to disconnect yourself, because you just tired of, like, your eyes be literally like glued sometimes. You ever feel like that, where it's like you can't take your eyes off of your phone
you catch yourself just scrolling. Like on a TikTok or something, you just keep going, just keep on scrolling. And it's just like, it's an addiction.
Yeah, it's definitely addiction.
It's an addiction. I do want to talk about something though too.
Yeah, let's go. Let's do it.
Social media and false confidence of male and female.
Right.
So I want to know how you feel about people and how they sometimes get false confidence about themselves because of likes and comments, like we were talking about earlier. Whereas though they really don't feel that way, but because they might get a lot of likes or comments or anything like that, how do you think that false confidence actually affects the mental health? I don't know if did that take too long to really get out? But
nah, that's
how do you think the false confidence
question.
really affects the mental health and like kind of come back down to like
yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, I honestly, I think, because it's crazy that I got the question when I was in Florida, and it was this young lady. She looked maybe 14, and she asked me, you know, how do you deal with depression and social media? And my response to her was, you know, if if you're controlled by your likes and the comments, then social media controls you, and that will bring you down a depressive state, because now you're identifying yourself with what somebody else thinks about you. But what I told her was, I said, look, you're beautiful and wonderfully made.
What you just said.
You know what I mean? You're beautiful and wonderfully made. Like, you are a child of the Most High God. You are gifted, but you have to know that within yourself. And so the false confidence comes from you scrolling and you post a picture and you got 12 likes. But you see your friend, she got 60 likes. So you think like, dang, like, what is she doing that I'm not doing? And then now you're tapping out of who you are, and you trying to be a different person.
Yeah.
And so I feel like that false confidence comes with that. And then you realize over time, trying to be somebody else, it's not working for you.
Like you're not actually happy.
Right.
You're trying to live someone else's life. Okay.
Yep. And I think with social media in general, like, that's a lot of the times that's what happens, is that they see this persona.
Yeah.
And they're not looking at the reality behind it. The reality is this person may be working hard, or this person may be faking.
Yeah.
And that's why it's
out here like that.
yeah.
You know?
That's why it's important for you to just stay. It's important for you to just stay there, man. It gives you anxiety. It gives you a lot of these things that that may not have been there before. Like, I've heard that people who have not had mental health issues, it started with, you know, social media, starting with young people.
Yeah.
Like, they think they're not doing anything because they don't have all these likes or comments. I mean, what do you think about that when it comes to the likes and the comments, man? Because they might not, you know, you might have somebody, bro, I'm gonna keep it a bean. Before you answer that question, I'm gonna keep it a bean.
I got a good.
I gotta say this one real quick. When I was with Philly, the Philadelphia Eagles, bro, I had a fan call me the N-word all the way down the comments.
Yeah.
I was like, it like pissed me off, and I was acting like it didn't bother me.
Yeah.
But that don't bother me, bro. And you know what? I couldn't do nothing about it. Right? But it was the fact that I seen it. And sometimes the stuff that you see, you cannot unsee it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for me, it was just like, dang, is that what people really, how you feel about me? Like, I've done all this.
But you called me the N-word because I might have not had fulfilled what you thought I should have fulfilled. I get what you're saying.
But I mean, anyway, back to what you was about to say.
It's saying that, you know, you got to control what you see. And we can't control what we see.
Yeah.
And shoot, they can turn the comments off. I don't gotta see it. I'm
glad that they.
Yeah, you can. I'm glad that they did like that. And then we was talking about that confidence thing. You know, from experience, like me personally, like females and then like males on both sides. I know females who look like they're beautiful females, but they might not be making no money at all, but it looks like they're living like this good life, you know? And
Bruh.
they're out here, but it's crazy because it messes with the guys in society today. You know, I feel like if that's going on and she's living this life, but she want all these expectations, who is she trying to be, but not fulfilling herself? Yeah. This is not what you're really doing and stuff like that. And I look at it like, I got boys who were rich, now poor, but they're still trying to maintain that, you know, so they got to keep putting on this image. Like, I want to like talk about how, well, I want to know how you feel about how that is affecting people.
Well, I think
How does that affect? How is that affecting people today?
I think because I've been in the respective space of you know, with wealth and been around the NFL and things of that nature, and I think a lot of times as men, what we see, whether or not we're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, like we said, I think the persona of everything is we have to have money in the bank and we have to be able to live up to an expectation. Mm-hmm. And so I think a lot of times men, we feel like we can't live up to that expectation if we don't have the funds. But a lot of times it's, if we don't have the funds, then, you know, how do we really see ourselves, right? Because we may need, you know, a woman or someone who can actually love us for us. Oh, you know what I'm saying? And it's not about the money. But society doesn't say that. What we see, it don't say that. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm also trying to be an example and try to...
Hold on, I want to say something. So you feel like dudes not shooting their shot because they think they don't got a chance, basically, off what they see?
I think so. I think a lot of times if they don't have, you know, the money, or, man, a lot of times you see, man, like a lot of women, they're with guys who can shower them with, you know, big time stuff, you know, the luxury things, right? And as a man, if you work a 9 to 5 and you just a hard worker, but you may, as a man, you may not even be into all that. Yeah. And as a woman,
that ain't your
vibe.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So my advice would be to, you know, seek God and ask for him to bring someone who can nurture that about you and bring that part out of you. You know what I'm saying? So that would be my only thing, you know. But I do think that a lot of guys think that they may not have a chance with, you know, an upper echelon type of woman because they not what they're bringing to the table. Yeah. You know, it may just be average compared to someone else.
Like anything like that.
Yeah. So, I mean, we've been dissecting social media with mental health, what that looks like. There was some good stuff about it that we talked about. Then there was some bad stuff. But we want to find a median. We want to talk about the do's and the don'ts, which, you know, personally for us, what are those? You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna start.
How we personally fix.
Yeah, like how we, because I mean, honestly, I've been there in both spectrums where I'm like feeling like
side and on the low side with it.
Right. So it's like, what did we do? So I think for me, it was, you know, making sure that I wasn't on social media all the time. Now, I still feel like I may be on there more than I should, but maybe you, instead of on social media, maybe you just do something different, like go read. Yeah. Or I know that sounds so like
like boring.
It's boring, but you're gonna expand your mind in a different way than you would with your eyes fixated on a screen. Yeah. we decide to step into the circle today. This is the Circle of M. I am your host, Marcus Smith.
Dondre Echols.
And we're out.